Ohayou, guy! Hello, dear humans! As I am a traveler, I do not exactly have a home to return to, but I've heard many passing tales about people's homes. This week, I'll be telling you about one of them, particularly about the mystery surrounding her new kitchen. My house is old, but the kitchen had been renovated earlier in the year, so it looks brand new. We had it fixed up because the recent heavy storms had blown a hole through the roof above where the kitchen was. Since we had to renovate it completely, my father decided to change the kitchen into a more modern style as well. Personally, I don't like it all that much, but I guess that's just a nostalgia talking. Strangely, after the renovation, it felt like food placed in the kitchen started to spoil quicker. When I brought it up to my parents, they said it was because of the rising heat as summer was nearing its peak. This made sense to me. After all, higher temperatures makes decomposition happen at a faster rate. So I stopped questioning it for a while. One day, we got some persimmons from our neighbor. My mother is a huge fan of persimmons, so after eating one, I left the rest on the kitchen counter so that she could eat them as soon as she got home from work. When she got home, I heard her call for me from my room. Did you put that plastic bag in the kitchen? Huh? Yeah, we got some persimmons from the neighbor. You like them, right? After a long pause, she told me to come to the kitchen and take a look. Peeking into the bag, I jumped back immediately. The persimmons, which were still fresh the last time I saw them, were now completely rotten. Of course, we immediately threw them away after that. That wasn't the only thing that was weird, though. A couple months ago, the ceiling started leaking. We decided that the renovation work must have been shoddy, but since it still took out a lot from our savings, we couldn't get it fixed for the time being. Instead, we cleaned that area periodically with a sponge attached to the end of a mop handle so that mold won't grow. The sponge always had a foul smell afterwards, so nobody liked being on cleaning duty. Because of this, my mother made a cleaning schedule for the entire family. My father first, then my mother, then me, then my little sister, then back to my father again. On my little sister's turn, she asked me to wash the sponge for her. When I asked her why, she said, "Just look at it yourself." So I did. The sponge already smelled bad and had turned brown from cleaning the leaking spots, but I didn't see anything particularly strange about it. When I told her that, she just snapped at me, telling me to look closer. Even though I was annoyed, I did just that, and that's when I saw it. There were long black strands all over the sponge. They were so thin that at first I thought they were strands of black hair. However, the longer I looked, I started to notice that they were moving. They wriggled in and out of the sponge like worms burrowing through the soil. Two of us totally freaked out. We managed to dump the sponge inside a plastic bag, and when our father came home, we practically begged him to get this leak in our ceiling fixed. He finally took us seriously when he showed him the disgusting sponge, and it seems that our kitchen will undergo renovation again in a few weeks' time. I just hope that everything will go away once it ends. And that was New Kitchen. It's good to choose wisely when performing renovations on your home. The health of a house projects to the health of its inhabitants, after all, and you do not want to carelessly invite something inside. That's all we got for this week, dear humans. If you've got a story to share about your own house, leave a comment down below. I'll see you next week. Until then, stay healthy.